With me, Grace Korea. Now, we're receiving reports that the DCI has made 3 arrests over the alleged embezzlement of public funds worth 588 million shillings by Kiambu County government officials. The 3 include Charles Mbuthia, Joyce Ngina, and Simon Kabacho. The Director of Public Prosecution, Nurdin Haji, late Friday ordered the arrest of Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu, his wife Susan Wangari Ndongo, and 12 others charged with the illegal award of roads upgrade tender and misappropriation of county funds. In a statement on Friday, Haji said the award of 588 million shillings contract was done irregularly. And we're now joined by our senior parliamentary reporter, Patrick Amimo, who's coming to us live from Runda. Good morning, Patrick. It's great to see you. What more do we know regarding these 3 arrests made this morning?
Good morning. Already the detectives are on their toes to ensure that the 10 suspects on this particular anti-corruption crusade are at the hands, and they are arraigned as it was directed by the Public Prosecutions, Nurdin Haji. Already the 3 are in police custody at the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Head Office Integrity Center. But then the hunt is on for the 7 individuals who include the Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu, who from the information we have, did not sleep at their known residences. So as we speak now, this Runda estate where the Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu is known to stay, the police, various detectives have been sent to try to trace him and see whether he can be arrested by the close of business today, together with the 6 other individuals who are at large. Already there is communication that wherever they are, they should ensure that they hand themselves over to the police at Integrity Center and or the DCI. Earlier on we had we were at the DCI, and they say officers there were also expecting these particular suspects to appear before them and record a statement. Some of the matters that are facing this Governor Ferdinand Waititu and the 9 other suspects with regard to these irregular awarding of tender to that to do with the upgrading of the upgrading of these various gravel roads to bituminous standards has to do with that abuse of office. Another charge has to do with money laundering. They are also facing a charge to do with the conflict of interest, in that this particular company, that is Testimony Enterprise Limited, is a company that is associated with the Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu and or his close associates. That's why the Anti-Corruption Commission is very, very keen to see this Waititu face this charge of conflict of interest. The other charges that are facing them has to do with that of dealing with suspect property. It is said that out of these already the company has been paid 147.2 million shillings, and out of these 18 million shillings was used to purchase a hotel, a property. The hotel by the name hotel goes by the name Benville Delta Hotel, which property belongs to Ferdinand Waititu and his associates. So they say this particular matter is handling a property, dealing with suspect property that was bought from proceeds that are suspected to be proceeds of crime. The other charge that we will be facing these particular individuals has to do with the fraudulent acquisition of public property. Fraudulent acquisition of public property is one of the charges that will also be facing these 6. So the order to arrest them and arraign them in court was issued yesterday by the DPP, but so far only 3 suspects are under police custody. 7 are at large, including Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu. Grace.
Well, indeed, Amimo, the persons of interest in this alleged embezzlement of public funds are, as you said, the Governor Ferdinand Waititu and his wife Susan Wangari Ndongo. So what do we know in as far as them surrendering themselves is concerned, Amimo? Have you been able to speak to, say, their lawyers or the governor's lawyers just to tell you if there are any plans of him, submitting himself to the DCI offices, Amimo?
So far, we don't know who the lawyer that will be representing Ferdinand Waititu in this particular matter. But the thing is that Waititu also has a case before the High Court that seeks to bar officers from the police to get into his private property to either search or do a search in his private property. So the matter is before the High Court, and this was informed by the fact that this case, when it was ongoing, we had officers from the Anti-Corruption Commission search properties that belong to Waititu, went to his houses and searched properties and also made arrests. So he's gone to the High Court to plead, asking the High Court to seek orders to vacate these particular search warrants from the police officers to in his premises, which he says are private premises. Also, Waititu, there is this particular matter as it goes. There was a time he had been placed in police custody, but we saw a magistrate in Kiambu come to release him out on bond, and so far that magistrate was interdicted by the Judicial Service Commission, and he later decided to resign from service because he said he could not survive working without a salary, and he thought the action by Chief Justice David Maraga was punitive to him. And we see that matter is also before the Magistrates Association, which wants to review those provisions of the Act that gives the Chief Justice that arbitrary or there's wide-ranging powers to discipline judiciary officers without reference to the Judicial Service Commission. So Ferdinand Waititu is before the High Court, trying to seek the High Court's prayers that his properties should not be searched by detectives and or he should not be arrested over this particular matter. It is a case that has been running. It is a matter that the EACC has been investigating together with the DCI, and that's when the DPP Nurdin Haji said there was a case that the charges so far, investigations, they can't sustain a case against Governor Ferdinand Waititu and his accomplices in this particular irregular allocation of tender worth 588 million shillings, out of which he says 147.2 million shillings has been paid to this particular company for this particular upgrade of roads, and also out of which 25 million shillings was wired to properties or to accounts that belong to Ferdinand Waititu. That is why he becomes a person of interest to both Nurdin Haji and Twalib at the EACC. Grace.
Indeed, Amimo, our senior reporter there, Patrick Amimo, coming to us live from Runda with the latest in as far as the hunt by the DCI, the Office of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, is concerned regarding the alleged embezzlement of public funds worth 588 million shillings in the county of Kiambu. And as at now, we know that 3 Kiambu County Tender Committee officials have been arrested. That is Simon Kabacho, Charles Mbuthie, Joyce Ngina, and of course the Governor Kiambu County, Ferdinand Waititu, and his wife Susan Wangari Ndongo are still being hunted for by the office of the DCI. We'll be linking up with our reporter Patrick Amimo